Hey, hey there, hey, hey, hey. Oh, hey there, can you feel it? The room is alive.
Listen, real quick, before we get into the video with Tiffany, I wanted to apologize in advance for the audio um, because she suffers sometimes with a soft voice. I think my mic had a hard time locating the sound of her voice. When I would finish talking, it would try to pick her up. So the first parts of the sentences that she's saying, you can't really hear it. A lot of times I reiterated, but I did not know that you couldn't hear it until I started editing the video. And of course, I was not going to ask Tiffany to redo the video. So that part. So I pray that you get something out of it. I pray that all the important things that she said that you are able to hear and really listen to the small tidbits that she gave you if you know a stroke survivor or if you yourself are a stroke survivor. Okay, again, I apologize for the audio, but computers, okay, we gonna all stay employed the way this thing running. Thank y'all so much. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, and hey. Welcome back to another special episode of Miss Gigi on the mic, where we say what needs to be said so that healing can take place out loud, and that we know that everybody can't go because everybody not built to go where you're going. Okay, so today, y'all listen. This is our final special episode of our signature topics. And let me tell you something. This young lady right here, she gave me a yes. And oh my God, when y'all hear her story, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. So I have with me today Miss Tiffany Brown. Miss Tiffany Brown, okay? And she is the true definition of healing out loud. Her story is a definition of resilience, of survival, of God's grace and His mercy. So, after surviving a near fatal car accident and enduring multiple strokes, she refused to let tragedy define her future. Instead, I said instead now, she turned her pain into purpose and became an advocate for stroke survivors, encouraging others to take small steps toward healing, hope, and rebuilding their lives. This conversation will be raw, inspiring, and a reminder that survival is only the beginning. Y'all help me welcome Miss Tiffany Brown to the pink mic. Yeah! Hey, Tiffany! Y'all, so I met Tiffany how many years ago? We don't know. 100. Uh-huh. I met her about 100 years ago when we were both members of BGR, Black Girl Run. We used to run, y'all. Don't tell nobody. Shh. And we used to run. Right. We was on the thicker side of Sears. Cause we had a lot of wagon we was dragging, right? Right. But we was out there and we was doing it. We was doing it. We were doing it. Okay. All right. So we were doing we was doing something. We were. But we now listen. Okay, if I hold you long, I hold you wrong. And I want to make sure that she has time to tell her story. Okay. On her page, she goes on her page and she talks about small steps for people who have survived a stroke and all of the things. And I find it interesting. I was telling her, I was like, girl, I ain't know all of this stuff. Because listen, and even if you have not suffered a stroke, you she's gonna give you her page and everything after we get done because she puts out some good information. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm gonna start with the questions. And like I said, nobody ever knows what I'm gonna ask them. because I want their answers to be authentic. I don't want them to have to study for it like they study for a test. I just want them to go ahead and just say what's on their heart. And then like Tiffany, if I because Holy Spirit with me sometimes. So if I just say, can you look at that camera and you just tell a woman or a man, whatever it is, I just want you to just do that part, okay? And just take your time saying whatever it is that you need to say, however you need to say it, okay? Okay, so the first one is, can you take us back to the moment your life changed after the car accident? And what was going through your mind during your recovery journey?
I remember waking up in the hospital. One of my friends, she was telling me, "Hey Tiff, this is today's date. You've been here this long. You had a bad accident," and my feelings were hurt because I couldn't see myself. I didn't know how bad the accident was. I just knew I was laid up in a hospital bed, and I kept seeing all of my family and my friends coming in and out the room, to visit me. And um, people think because of my profession, I'm a dental assistant and a dental instructor, that this is why I felt the way that I did. But I think I probably would have felt that way either way it go. I started
What you start doing, Tiffany?
I started moving my tongue around to my teeth, and I'm just like, okay, all right,
Why were you doing that?
make sure I still had all my teeth.
Oh, she laid up in the hospital for days and she wanted to make sure she had all her teeth. They pretty though, girl.
I had to make sure I still had all my teeth because just that quick, I was thinking of a treatment plan. I was thinking of a doctor. I was thinking of who was going to do my veneers. Like I needed to make sure my teeth were still in place. I didn't know at the time that I had suffered any strokes. I didn't know that I couldn't walk. Um, I didn't know that I couldn't talk because when they were talking to me, I don't know why, but I would just give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And oh, I did that because my sister would fuss at me whenever they asked me a question and I would shake my head yes or no. And she kept saying, "Stop shaking your head." So the reason why is because I broke my neck and I still had the neck brace on. And I think I might have just been out of recovery. Well, not recovery, but I had just had the surgery for my neck not too long ago. So it was still important that I didn't move my head too much. I needed to make sure my teeth was intact.
Okay, so she laying in the bed with a broke neck. And she wanted to make sure she had all her 52s. How many teeth?
Was born with 30. We have 32 teeth. But I got my molars taken out. So I only have what, 3
And I'm talking about 52.
So yeah.
That's two.
That's I don't know who now 30.
Okay. Okay. So we have Tiffany that's just come out from having neck surgery and she's rolling her tongue in her mouth because she want to make sure she had her teeth. Yeah, tell Tiffany she got some pretty teeth. Though. Look at her. Her teeth are gorgeous. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Don't okay. Now don't you hurt yourself. Okay. Okay.
But what was the
I
second part?
don't know. What was going through your mind during the journey? Well, we know your
Oh,
teeth.
my teeth. That was what was important to me. My teeth. Oh no. And so I think that was a Sunday that I woke up and one of my best friends, they went on vacation. They went on a cruise. And so when I saw them come in the room, I was like, why y'all here? Y'all supposed to be on a cruise. And then um, an old best friend, her and my brother, they stopped by to see me. And I'm just like, I'm not understanding how serious this accident
Right.
was. I didn't know that, a doctor had came in the room and talked to my sister and told her that my survival rate wasn't looking too good. There was a lot of things that happened tragically from that accident. I didn't learn until 2 weeks ago that I had pneumonia while I was in the hospital. I had to have a blood transfusion while I was in the hospital. On top of all the other things that happened. So um, I broke my neck in 3 different places. Um, I broke my C1 and C2 vertebrae, which is at the top of your neck. I have what the doctors like to call appliance. I have an appliance in my neck. I have an appliance in my neck. I shattered both my shoulders.
Oh my God.
I shattered this right here. And yeah, I banged myself up pretty bad.
Yeah, you pretty much
Yeah,
banged up, but we
I
worried about our
was.
teeth.
I wanted
But
to
you
make
kept
sure.
all your teeth.
Yes, I
Now,
did.
you done broke shoulder blades and
And
neck
then
bones.
the next to my
It
teeth.
ain't that.
That's how you know the Lord be on your side.
I'm not.
That's how you know. But I'm gonna tell you one of the craziest things.
Mhm.
Out of all the people that came to see me that Sunday, my old pastor he came to see me, and my mama came in the room and she was like, no, my sister she was still in the room and she was like, Pastor May is here to pray for you, and I still can't talk, and so I just remember tearing up. I was like, oh
Okay.
Lord, I'm finna die. They called him in to pray over me. I just remember being so sad. And I was like, dang, that's how I'm going to go out, huh? I was just so sad. And I remember the nurse, oh, he was the sweetest. The nurse that we had, that I had, he was fussing with my sister. He was like, listen, I understand y'all love her. Like, it's evident that y'all love her, but it's too many people coming in the room. I can't give her a bath. She got to go to surgery. Can you just tell them that that's the last person that can come see her? And so
Oh, you are
he was the
loved.
last person to come. And I remember being in the hallway. They rolled me out in the bed, and it was so many people in the hallway. What is it? The thing that they have for the people that pass in the hospital, and they just be out there and cheering them on, like they were all out there from that. And the guy that I was dealing with at the time, I seen him, and he was like, "Oh, there goes Tiff," and I'm like,
I'm gonna die for real. They got my last, like, you thought they was like lying in the road
yes,
for
I
them to
thought they
wheel
was.
you.
I didn't know, was he saying I was having surgery? Was that a code for something? But I was like, well, I'm gonna go like this.
But at this time, you still didn't know how serious it was,
No,
but it was pretty serious. It was more than,
terrible.
yeah, it was more than
Yeah,
serious.
it
Now, when your girlfriend told you that you had been there a couple of days, how many days did she say that you had been in the hospital? Do you remember?
from the date that she told me, I got there April 5th, and I think it was like April 21st or something like that.
Oh wow, so it was like 2 to 3 weeks
Yeah,
that you until you woke up.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was pretty serious. Okay, after experiencing multiple strokes, what were some of the biggest emotional and physical challenges you had to overcome?
My voice. So when you have a stroke, you have a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury. If you have a brain tumor, anything affecting your brain, if you have an infection in the brain, sometimes it brings about aphasia.
Okay.
Aphasia, it affects your speech. So not only does it affect your speech, but it affects your memory. It affects the way that you communicate. Sometimes you're not able to um, call words. You might be thinking about, that chair, and you might call the chair a computer. And I know people, they make light of it and say, "Well, I hadn't had a stroke, and I do that anyway." But it's important for you to, when your stroke survivor is speaking to you about what it is that they go through, it's important for you to acknowledge them and let them have that, not to make light of it.
Tell them.
Not to make light of it, um, not to discredit that person, for anything that they're experiencing. I was speaking to someone, I don't remember if it was a family member or a friend, but I was telling them that I'm disabled, and the person was trying to make me feel better, and it was just like, "No, you're not disabled." And I'm like, as much as you don't want to admit it, I am. Like, this is my new life now, and it's hard because some days my voice is strong, I sound like myself. Some days it's very soft. I had to be trached while I was in the hospital, and so that injured my vocal cords. And that's probably, not probably, that is the reason why my voice is so soft now. And I did have a couple of sessions with a speech therapist, and she was telling me, there was nothing that she can really do for me because I sound better than a lot of patients that she worked with. It's just cognitive exercises that you have to work on in order to get yourself back to a place where you're comfortable to. Um, Realizing and understanding that who you were prior to the accident or prior to the stroke is not who you are now. You have to accept it, and sometimes that's hard to accept, especially for someone as young as I am. I'm 44, so being that young and having your life affected severely for the rest of your life until you get to some type of normalcy, it's hard. It's challenging. It's very
I, I love it that you said that to them because I would be one of the ones, and I'm just, being transparent. I would be one of the ones with child, my mind. Yeah. But so I'm so glad that you said that. And that's why I said, say it to them because I know so many people that would do that, like would make light of it, not meaning any harm, but trying to like make it because, and the only reason they do that is because they feel uncomfortable. They feel uncomfortable, so they try to make it, But so it's good that you would voice that. Let them, because that's your reality.
Yeah.
That's your reality. And then for someone like me to say, "Well, girl, my brain don't work either," that's not right. To now that you say it, it's like an insult. It it is okay. Yeah, I said it's like when she said it is okay. Oh, understand understand it and govern yourselves accordingly because this is somebody who who has suffered a stroke. She is a stroke survivor, and she's telling you how she feels. So understand it, embrace it, and govern yourselves accordingly. Okay. Wow, girl, thank you. And I'm being for real. Thank you so much for that because I like to joke a lot of stuff off. I remember, so I used to be a hospice respite worker, right? Respite volunteer. And I would go in there and I would try to make the family feel better by joking or saying things to thinking that I'm comforting them. And then uh, one of my supervisors, she was like, "Gigi, you don't like to be in a pit with people." She said, "If it makes you uncomfortable, then you try to make light of it. But you can't make light of somebody else's situation." And this right here is proof of that. My, yeah. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Teach. You often talk about taking small steps. Why is that message so important for stroke survivors and people navigating difficult recovery?
You take the smallest step in the hospital, she took a lot of pictures of me when I was out, when I was still in the coma. And I appreciate her for doing that because she sent them to me and I was able to look at myself and I was just in shock, like, dang, this is really where I started from. So taking the smaller steps, you can appreciate where you are. You might look at someone else who suffered a stroke or something else, tragic, and see the steps that they're taking, and you might think that their steps are bigger than your steps. And it doesn't have to be measured like that. Whatever the steps that are that you're taking are the steps that you need for your life at that time. I celebrate everything. I text my friends, I call my family, I let them know what's going on. Like I told Gigi,
Yeah.
hey, I put that mattress cover on my bed by myself. And it only took me 38 minutes.
Okay.
And I was proud of myself because when I first got home, trying to put it on the bed, I got mad, I cried, I had to have the in-home care person. I had her to do it, and it was another time my mama came over. I had her to do it, and I could have called one of my friends. I could have called my mama, my sister, and had them to help me. But at that moment, I was determined to put that on the bed. I was determined to put them sheets on the bed and to be showered and dressed by a certain time. And those are the things that I need for myself in order to say, hey, I'm getting better. Last week or 2 months ago, I couldn't do this in under 2 hours. Now I'm doing it in an hour and 20 minutes. So that's why it's important to take those steps, record yourself, take pictures of yourself, acknowledge it, acknowledge those that celebrate you with you, and acknowledge those that don't celebrate you, because when you have those milestones, you know who to go to, you know who's going to celebrate you, and you know who's going to minimize your accomplishments, and you want to stay away from those people, because I can't say that having a stroke takes you away from your ground feelings or whatever. You still have those feelings. So even though my voice is soft, it doesn't take away from the fact that I don't feel the way that I feel. I still might cuss you out if you get with me on the wrong day. So there's that. Hush, Gigi.
I knew you before the
God, keep
stroke.
it holy.
I knew you before the stroke. So, but you see, also, she said she got to keep it holy. Y'all, let me tell you something. And we're gonna talk about that too because Tiffany told me something, and that we're gonna get into that. And I was like, oh my God, that was so great. But I want to go back to this mattress cover, this bed. So I was communicating with her, and I said, I need for you to send me some pictures so for the flyers and da 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 da, so we can get all things ready. She sends me a text back. She said, "Okay, in a minute. I almost, I almost got it." She said, I'm putting the pillows. I just have to put the pillows on the bed." She said, "I'm almost got it. I'm almost done. I'm so proud of myself, and I didn't have to ask for help." And I just sent some exclamation points back, and I was like, "I'm proud of you too, girl. Because hey, and I'm not minimizing anything because I just don't like to pick up the bed." So she there's that. There's that. Okay, I just said that, and that meant something. The little things we take for granted. I ain't even no. The things that we take for granted, like making up a bed, putting a mattress cover on the bed, changing a sheet, and we complain about it, right? We let our clothes stay in the dryer for weeks, and then we'll say, "Well, it's time for me to fold up the clothes." And here we have Tiffany, 44 years old, who used to do it all the time. And now for her, it's an accomplishment. Now for her, it's, oh my God, I did this. by myself. I'm proud of me. Let me share my celebration with someone else. We, yeah, that part. We take so many things for granted in this world. And then when it gets taken away, we're like, if only I could, or if I had to do that again. You understand? So I would take this moment to tell everybody just to appreciate what you have, where you are. Don't look to your left or your right and compare yourself to anybody else. Or what she said in the beginning, you might compare yourself if you've had a stroke. You're comparing yourself, your progress, to somebody else who's had their progress. Your progress is your progress. Your wins are your wins, right? Um, and one of the other things, okay, so we're gonna go to this. Tiffany said she's trying to keep it holy. So listen, so this episode is Healing Out Loud, right? And it's God+Growth. And we all, every topic has a subtopic. And Tiffany's subtopic, so I sent her a list of subtopics. And her subtopic is the grace I didn't ask for. It's the grace I didn't ask for. Now, you asked me, why would her topic be the grace I didn't ask for? I ain't finna tell you. I'm gonna let her tell you. Tiffany, can you tell the people why your subtopic is the grace you didn't ask for?
Yeah. I wasn't, I was talking to God at the time that, well, of course, I wasn't talking to him at the time I had the accident, but I wasn't dealing with God prior to my accident. I didn't have nothing to do with him. I was cool on him, and that's where I was with it. And so when the accident took
Wait a
place,
minute, what do you mean you was cool on him?
I didn't want to deal with God. I didn't
You
want
was
to go to
upset.
church.
You was upset with God at the
Yeah.
time. Okay, something happened to make you upset
Yeah.
with. Okay, all right.
So I wasn't going to church. I wasn't praying.
Okay.
I wasn't reading my Bible. I had nothing to do with God. If one of my parents called to say, "Hey, can you go to church with me?" or something like that, I would go to church. If a funeral was at the church, I would go to church. If there was some type of celebration, like if it was a Father's Day, something going on, I would go to church to celebrate my dad or to surprise my dad or whatever the case may be. But to just go for a Sunday sermon or go for Tuesday night Bible study, I wasn't going. And I was okay with that. I had made peace with the fact that I wasn't talking to God. God wasn't talking to me. He stayed on his side. I stayed on my side, and that was okay. But when that accident happened and learning um, everything that happened to me in the accident, looking at my car, looking at how swollen I was, looking at every major injury that I suffered from that accident, and finally getting a chance to talk to the detective that came out to investigate my accident and seeing him cry. And he wasn't a big guy, but he was a man. I mean, he's a man. And he cried in my sister's kitchen, and he was just like, I didn't think you was gonna make it. I really thought I was gonna have to, get in contact with your dad because my dad was his point of contact the entire time. And he was saying, once I made it to the hospital, he just knew that my dad was gonna call him and let him know that I had succumbed to my injuries. He didn't think that an accident that bad will have a survivor to come out of it. And a lot of times when we do things for people, when they get upset with us, they'll yell at us and say, "Well, I didn't ask you to do that no way." And I started to think about it when Gigi asked me about my subtopic, and it was like, I didn't ask God for that grace. He gave it to me because He seen fit that I needed it, and it was what I needed to get back in touch with Him. Now, I'm not going to say that I go to church now, but I have my own devotion with Him. I talk to Him, I pray. I do read my Bible from time to time. My go to is Psalms 91, especially with everything that's going on in DeKalb County or just the world period. But yeah, I didn't ask God for that grace, and He seemed fit to give it to me anyway, and spared me. And now I'm here talking to y'all about surviving a stroke and an accident and a broken and keeping my teeth.
I knew she was gonna say something about teeth. And God is just that good that He knew she loved her teeth, and He didn't. Not a tooth was chipped. Not one. His grace is sufficient for you. Oh, all your teeth. And here's the thing: even if her teeth would have fell out, she a dental hygienist and instructor, so she could have got her teeth fixed anyway. She said it didn't matter. She wanted her own. God knew that. But here's my thing. Even when we're upset with God, even when we're not talking, she said she was cool on God. That's what I said, huh? Because I heard people say, "Oh, I'm cool on her over there," and I know what that means. That means, hey, I ain't got two words to say to her. So when she said she was cool on God, but God was still covering her, but that's just how He is, and that's just how He does. And the thing about it is, we go to church for fellowship, but we go to God for relationship. So if she said, "I'm not in the church right now," and she'll go when she go, but she has intimate time with Him her way, and that's relationship. And I think that's what God was trying to get you back to anyway. I love that. Girl, you better go on and tell the people about Jesus. Y'all better clock that. Clock that. So just know that your relationship with God is your relationship with God, and don't let anybody make you feel guilty about the type of relationship that you have with Him. Okay? Because as long as you and God have an understanding, what does it say? What's understood don't need to be explained. Okay, and she ain't gonna, huh? She ain't gonna explain it to you no way. Cause she trying to keep it holy. Okay. 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 Listen, what would you say to someone who feels discouraged, defeated, or afraid after facing life and life altering challenge like you just did? And I need for you to look directly into that camera, and I want you to encourage someone who may be feeling discouraged about it, and they're not on the side that you're on. They're just starting their journey. You understand?
I would say it's okay to feel how you feel.
Mhm.
Your feelings are valid. Um, it sounds kind of harsh to be said out loud, but feel everything that you're going to feel within that day, within that week, within that month. And once you're done feeling it, you got to come out of it. You got to crawl out of it. You got to figure out what it is that you got to do to get you back to where you want to be. You got to be able to see yourself when you look in the mirror, when you talk to somebody, when you look at your kids, if you have kids, if you have fur babies like I do, you got to be able to take them outside,
Mhm.
and you got to know what it is that you need for you. If you have to sit down and write it out, if you have to talk it out, cry it out, if back in the day when you used to look at Lifetime and they would go in the shower and do that ugly cry.
That ugly cry, girl. Just.
You gotta go in the shower and get that ugly cry out and just be like, talk to your people, talk to God, talk to your grandmama, your granddaddy, your aunts, your uncles, whoever it is that you can pull on to get that strength from. And you got to understand that sometimes it's okay if you pull from somebody else's strength. You don't always have it within yourself. Sometimes you might be depleted of that strength and you need to go to somebody else and borrow theirs. And if they're willing to give it to you, take it. take it. It is okay. Ask for help, ask for strength, ask for love, ask for all of those things that you feel lost on, and take it. Yeah,
I love that. Okay.
take it.
Take it. Take it.
But
And
you gotta give it back though. You gotta give it back to
tell,
somebody else.
don't tell me.
Yeah, you got to be willing to give it back to somebody else. So just like how you were crying, how you were down and out,
Mm-hmm.
when you meet somebody else
Mm-hmm.
and they need that love from you, they need the support, they need the encouragement, they need you to hold their hand, be able to do all those things for them and with them. Because, I mean, that's just how life works. You never know when you're in position to where you're going to need it, and you never know when you're in position to give it to somebody
Absolutely. Reach back and
else.
pull. Yeah, that's what I always say. The things that happen to us, they happen to us, but they happen so that other things can happen through us. And then we're to reach back and grab that sister or that brother who may be going through what we just came out of, and we can help them along the way, to get to their other side so that each one reach one, you know? Okay. Uh, we're about to close, but I'm gonna check. How has this journey changed your faith, your purpose, and the way you view life now?
So much. I don't think I was a mean person prior to the accident, but I would definitely get you together real quick. And now I listen to what it is that you have to say. I'm a little bit more empathetic towards your feelings, and yeah, I'm definitely more empathetic. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna let you cry. I hate to be around people when they're crying because I'm always weird. I don't know what to do with those people. But now, I'm like, ooh, let me hold you.
Oh,
I hold you for a minute. Like,
why you cry? So it made you a little softer.
he made
It made you a lot
me laugh.
softer. Okay, I don't know if y'all heard Tiffany when she said she'll get you together real quick. Oh, I don't miss nothing on this mic. I heard her when she said, I believe she'll still get you together. She just doing it in a softer voice. I love it. Tiffany, thank you so much. Thank you so. Oh my God, girl, this has been. Listen, I didn't want you to listen. I didn't want you to laugh too much because I didn't want your sister to see you throwing your head back. And I was, cause yeah, I didn't. She doesn't even know. Yeah, cause she probably. Well, it's open now. Okay. She'll be back home by the time you see this. Is okay. Girl, don't you get me in trouble with your phone. Oh my God. I ain't got. Okay, y'all listen. Before we close, I just want to say that this to every person listening under the sound of my voice. Your setback is not the end of your story, right? Sometimes life will hit you in ways that you never expected, physically, emotionally, mentally. But if you're still here, there's still work for you to do. Tonight's conversation reminded us that healing does not always have to be loud, fast, or perfect. Sometimes it's in the little small steps that show us that all we have to do is keep pressing and keep pushing forward, and that we're able to say, "I made it through." Just like Tiffany, day by day, moment by moment, God gives her grace for each day, and she's appreciative of it. She celebrates her small wins. You should celebrate your small wins because the small wins in turn lead to bigger ones, right? And there really are there any small wins? There are no small wins. A win is a win. A win is a win. I don't think they're small wins. I think they're just wins. Just yeah, everybody wins. Yeah. Okay, y'all. So listen, this has been Gigi. I'm Miss Gigi on the mic. This is Miss Get You Together Real Quick, Tiffany Brown, and she has graced our platform. She has graced our stage. We want to say thank you so much for coming out. Okay. Okay. Anything you want to say? Oh, y'all got to know where to find her. You tell them where to find you and when you do your talk. Okay.
A month. It's on my TikTok and Facebook, which is
Your favorite.
your favorite aqua. That's what it is. Your favorite aqua on TikTok and Facebook. Um, just if you have any stroke survivors or you are a stroke survivor, just show grace, and just be patient. That's it.
Show grace. Be patient. And it has been my very good pleasure to serve y'all today. Gigi gone. Bye bye. Every conversation has the power to shift the atmosphere. And this is just the beginning. I'm Miss Gigi, and I'm on the mic. Thanks for watching.